stupidly epic. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. Don't know what I'm going to call this as of yet, but you'll see it in the title. Like when I do figure it out. Today's thing is going to be me playing through some Guilty Gear while I talk about E3, guys. E3 just happened. E3, it just happened, man. We've got enough lot of stuff to talk about, so let's just get on with it, shall we? I'm going to select my character first though, and just like, I'm going to try and talk at the same time about all these things that I've got listed here while I'm playing Guilty Gear, which is going to be a challenge. I guarantee it. I hope I can rely mostly on muscle memory while I'm playing, because I've got an awful lot to talk about. So guys, let's jump in, shall we? Freaking Potemkin for the win. So, what do we start with, guys? Let's just start in reverse order. Let's just do it all in reverse order. Let's start with Nintendo's conference. I'm going to skip that so I can get into a fight. Right, so they showed off Super Mario Odyssey. Guys, I kinda want to get a Switch. It's, after seeing Super Mario Odyssey in action and like seeing the cool things that you can do with the hat and everything like that, I was really impressed. I was really impressed with Super Mario Odyssey. They showed off a few worlds. Like I even seen there was like a forest place afterwards that they showed that wasn't in the trailer that they showed. They showed they showed like this cool forest area. There's like all these hidden areas and all that. And yeah, man, Super Mario Odyssey looked absolutely fan-dabby-dozy. I'm interested in seeing what other things that you can do with a hat, because they were talking about they were talking about how you should pretty much just try the hat on everything just to see if it works, you know? Because like I'm thinking that maybe they've got like an awful lot of things to do with the hat. The hat is like integral. That's their gimmick for this game, you know? So yeah, I'm really interested in Mario. Like, they didn't really show off like tons that I was really interested in, but yeah, Super Mario Odyssey got me on board. Like I was really hesitant to buy a Switch because, and this is really unlike me because like I don't believe that like at all that a console's worth should be measured in its power, but I was really worried when they finally announced that it was going to be just like is essentially a handheld that you can like hook up to a TV, and you get like maybe a slight boost to performance through having it hooked up to the TV, but like it's not like it's going to be by much, you know. So that got me kind of worried, and but no, I seen Super Mario Odyssey. They showed off a new Kirby game that was just a quick wee trailer that I've seen, but it looks amazing. Like another Kirby game wouldn't go amiss. It looks fantastic. Man, I hope I'm able to like get through all this before like this arcade mode's over, because it's pretty insane the amount of stuff that I've got to talk about. That's why I've set it to like 5 rounds, by the way, so I can just keep on like talking. But yeah, they showed off a new Yoshi game as well. There was a trailer for that. It looks quite like fun and like kind of nice, and that's why I like Nintendo. See, I don't hate Nintendo. I just don't like Microsoft. That's the prime slogan, you know. And it's something that I've gotten further and further away from. Like as the years have went on, you know, I'm way less of a fanboy now. I used to be like Sony, like all the way, and like absolute like to a fault, like just pure Sony fanboy. But like not anymore. I've mended my ways, you know. Play games, not consoles, as N4G would say, and yeah, it's served me well so far. So they showed off the Yoshi game, they showed off the Kirby game. They both look like just really nice, and again, that's why I like Nintendo, because like I get enough seriousness from my PlayStation, you know. I get enough serious games, I get enough kind of gritty games from playing my PlayStation. So if I'm wanting something just to cheer me up, or something nice and happy and family friendly, I look to Nintendo for that, you know. Long gone are the days of Sony when they had like really happy games like, you know, Katamari and all that sort of stuff. You know, they just kind of stopped. They brought Parappa back for a HD thing, but you know, it's still it's just a HD remaster. It's not like they're putting any effort in, you know. But yeah, so what else? Let me see. There's an XCOM Mario game coming out. Mario versus like Rabbids or whatever it's called. It's coming from Ubisoft. There's a Mario XCOM game coming out, guys. Like top-down, grid-based strategy game. Where you all fight, like they showed off a demo where they were fighting this boss and it was like a giant rabid version of Donkey Kong and he gets his health back by eating all the bananas and that. It looked great! I want to play that. I'll have to get a Switch, you know? I have to get a Switch so I can total play these games. Because they looked fantastic. What else? They announced Metroid Prime 4 with like a bloody image. Like that could mean anything though. You know what I mean? Oh, like, now in development. Yeah, okay. Until I see like gameplay or at least a trailer. You know, I don't trust you because like anything can happen. You know, between now and the next time you ever talk about it. So I was excited to see the Metroid Prime 4 logo, but like I was really disappointed that they never showed anything at all of it. They did show a Wii U, sorry, not a Wii U, a 3DS, Metroid game coming out. It's meant to be a remake of Metroid 2. So now we know why they shut down that indie developer guy, the guy that done like his own version of Metroid 2. They essentially like DMCA like took it down and like. We're going to copy your idea. If people want Metroid 2, we're going to give them Metroid 2. You're not going to do it. So yeah, they totally screwed this poor guy out of all of his work to give us like a half-baked total 3DS version that nobody really asked for. Like, could you not just like do what that other like just like license it from that guy? Just be like, look, this like Metroid is ours. We are more than happy to use this game as a representation for Metroid. If we pay you for the work that you've put in, we'll use it. You know, we'll officially endorse it as a game. But no, they had to destroy him. You know, they had to just like screw him over. And I feel really bad for that guy because like you just know that the 3DS version is not going to be. There's no heart in it, you know. You can see that from the trailer. That it's like nobody. They weren't really like. They're just like, ah, Metroid 2, okay, whatever. We've made this game before. We don't really care anymore, you know. So what else? They showed off that they're going to like the Switch is going to be getting Rocket League, and it's going to feature crossplay with consoles, with other consoles. But the news hath come out that Sony doesn't want to play ball. I'm like, Sony, come on, man. Come on, guys. What's wrong with you? I just couldn't. You know, like, when Nintendo is fully prepared to work alongside Microsoft, you know, cats and dogs, like, living together, you know, the freaking plagues, like frogs and locusts everywhere. Like, this is it's like, and Sony's not wanting to play ball. Like, I mean, I understand. I mean, they're like ahead right now. They've no real incentive to do that. But it just kind of, like, from the outside looking in, it just looks like from a fan's perspective, they're like, well, do you not care about what we want, Sony? You know, like, we as gamers are more interested in playing together than fighting, you know. Like, there are still fanboys out there, but, you know, like, I'm hoping that, like, this the advent of crossplay between Nintendo and Microsoft will be able to bridge that gap, you know, so like people don't feel as you know, attached to their console, because that once that line's blurred, the console doesn't really matter anymore. You're just playing with people now. You know, you're not playing against another console. You're playing with another person. So I don't understand why Sony doesn't want to be a part of that sort of that new revolution for games, because it's so important. It's so important to move the medium forward like that, to coexist rather than to fight, especially for like to lead by example. You know what I mean? Like Microsoft and Nintendo are leading by example here, and they're like, yeah, we it's more important for us to do what we do and not focus on competition than, you know, like to not focus on competition than to fight. And I think that's going to show through to the fans of those consoles. You know, like a Microsoft fan is going to be less inclined to be a fanboy against Nintendo now, and like you know, vice versa, because they're able to play together now. And it's a shame that Sony doesn't want to be a part of that. And like that goes likewise with Minecraft as well. Microsoft are like, yeah, we want everybody on every platform to be able to play Minecraft together. And Sony's just like, nah, we don't want to do that. So I'm kind of disappointed by that. And like that's going to be a running theme for Sony while I'm talking today, guys. Well, I'll finish with I'll finish off Nintendo first, and then we'll move on to Sony, because like Sony is a wee bit disappointing this year. Like it was all right. There was nothing great about it. But the last thing that Nintendo was talking about, well, this is me just talking like out of order. This is like nothing's actually in order here. Like Super Mario Odyssey was shown last, you know. But they also mentioned that, you know, like we're working on, like Game Freak are working on total, you know, a core Pokemon RPG for the Switch, and everybody went mental. They loved it. They were just like, yes, this is what we've been waiting for since the start. Like, who wants to play Game Boy games when you can have a full console, you know, full console Pokemon game, and it's like a full-on RPG, you know, full like JRPG Pokemon game. Like it might even rival something like Ni no Kuni, you know. And Ni no Kuni was the best Pokemon game ever made, you know? So, I mean, like, yeah. So, that's Nintendo, guys. Let's move on to Sony now, because here is the... here's my problem. Is Sony had quite a good conference, right? But it felt really safe. It felt like they didn't want to put tons of effort in. They were just kind of like... And I do appreciate they kept the talking to a minimum, because like I really liked last year's show where it was just like pretty much all games, and that was it. But everything that they showed last year had like impact. It was important, you know. They showed off Final Fantasy VII. They showed off Shenmue. They showed off God of War for the first time last year. They showed off The Last of Us 2. Which was extremely important, but it was like this year they just kind of played it safe. They were just kind of like, here's stuff that's, you know, you already kind of know it's coming out, and it's kind of like they had a couple of surprises. Like they showed off like they were remaking Shadow of the Colossus for the PS4, which is really cool because like Shadow of the Colossus is probably one of the best games ever made. And it's like it's beautiful as well. It's still beautiful even on the PS2. You know, like you look back at that game and it's still like a technical marvel. And yeah. So let's talk about what they showed. They showed off Spider-Man. That was the last thing that they showed off, and looked alright. I was actually expecting a wee bit I was expecting the combat to look a bit faster, but it looked like it looked a wee bit slower than and I'm using this as just a very basic point of comparison. It looked a bit slower than the Batman games, you know, and I'm talking about the combat itself, like the kicking and punching and dodging and things like that. It looked a bit slower than Batman. So I was kind of disappointed by that, because Spider-Man is all about agility, you know. He's maybe not necessarily like about power, but he's definitely about agility. And yeah, it was QTEs, and I hate to focus negatively on that, because like I don't mind QTEs. I find that like it's a fine way to like show off like a really cool scene without having to program like really weird controls to control that scene in with, you know? It's just like, here's like a really cool scene, like make it look epic, and then you press a button at the right time and you've succeeded rather than died, you know? That's fair, it's fine, it's whatever. But it felt really full of QTEs, unfortunately. And it was, you know, again, it looked okay. Visually, it looked splendid. It looked like a fantastic game. But in terms of the gameplay and in terms of like the amount of QTEs that was shown off in it, not a massive fan. And I didn't want to keep on ragging on it because like I'm sure like they've still got a way to go before the game's actually done. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and stop moaning about it really, because the thing that they showed off, there was another thing that showed off that actually like I'm very happy about, you know, like and that's not to say that I wasn't happy with Spider-Man. It looked good, just not. You know, from the first trailer that it showed, it was like a really quick teaser, and like it didn't. Again, trailers are big lies for the uninitiated. Trailers are essentially like them curating exactly what they want you to see. So they were showing you everything that looked great, and none of the stuff that didn't look great. You know. So, yeah. Anyway, God of War looked incredible. I am well interested, and I'm way more interested now that they've confirmed that it is an actual sequel to the God of War, like the original God of War games. It's not just like a reboot in the Norse mythology, it's actually a sequel to the Greek mythology, you know? So that had me really interested. Everything in that game just looked brutal, as brutal as you'd expect, you know, from a God of War game. And yeah, it was just... looked cool. I really like his axe now. He's got that whole Mjolnir thing going with it, so you can like summon it back and stuff like that, which is awesome because again, Norse mythology. You got that. He's kind of like a god of Thor, you know, god of Thor, and yeah. So like, I'm still a wee bit iffy on the concept of him like having to. Like, I'm hoping it's not just like a giant escort mission where he's just looking after his son, you know? I'm hoping it turns into like an actual brutal game, like where he's just on his own and he's like fighting things again. I'd rather that than it be like The Last of Us 3, you know, with Kratos as the total like guy now rather than Joel, you know? But yeah, it looked amazing. I was well into that. They also showed off in the PlayStation VR segment a game called Moss, and there's not much that I'm going to say about it. But I liked the look of that game. There was a lot that Sony showed, but I'm not going to be talking about all of it. I'm only really going to be talking about the stuff that like I paid attention to, and I was like, yeah, this looks good, or like this looks naff, but I'll talk about it, you know. But yeah, they showed off Moss, and like it's like a VR game where you kind of look like No Face from one of these Studio Ghibli films. I can't remember what it was called. Like the kind of ghost with a mask on, and you're helping this little mouse warrior guy, like a wee mouse with a wee sword, like fight through levels. But you've got to like do puzzles, like move statues from so it can open doors and things like that. It looked really cool. Not gonna make me automatically want to buy a VR headset for it, but if I do ever get PlayStation VR, I'll definitely get that game. You know, I'd have to have something really impressive to make me want to play PlayStation VR. Resident Evil 7's one of those games, but again, it's not enough to make me want PSVR. Yeah, but Moss looked great. They showed off Shadow of the Colossus. To me, it didn't look like a remake. It looked like essentially a remaster where they've just kind of changed the assets a bit. Like they've maybe remodeled some stuff, but it didn't like. From the movement of Wonder, he didn't look like he was animated differently. His cape like kind of looked rigid, like cardboard and that. And I thought, well, yeah, kind of. they obviously it's still early days yet. You know, they might still have to do like an awful lot of the animation stuff in that. But they showed it off, and I'm interested because again, Shadow of the Colossus is one of the best games I've ever played. What else? Days Gone. They showed off Days Gone. I'm not into zombie games, but that game looks pretty good. I like The Last of Us, and this has definitely got a kind of Last of Us kind of vibe. Just the whole trailer from start to finish was really interesting. They done everything. They showed off the zombie tech, you know, the swarming zombies. They showed off the combat. They showed off like how the zombies sort of react to other NPCs and things like that. Yeah, it was just a really good trailer, really good demo that they showed off. I really wish Sony would like make like no specifically Sony, I suppose. I just wish these you know, the main three would be like, see every demo that you show off here, could you put it on our like service? You know, could you put it on the demo section of our like store? You know, just so people at home can try it out as well, rather than being able to like, you know, like if they can't make it to E3, at least they could try it out. You know, like they would be able to monetize that so easily. Like here, pay £10, say, right, and you'll get all the demos that were shown off at E3 at each one of their conferences or whatever. You know, like you would obviously have to curate it to like, obviously to the point of like Sony being Sony having all their demos for £10 or $10 or whatever. Yeah, Microsoft, like, and I'm not trying to give these like juggernauts ideas for money, but I would pay £10 just to have a shot of all these demos, you know, just to have a little go with them. Because if it's playable on the show floor, I want to try and have a shot of it, you know. I want to have get a game of it, you know. And they would be able to, you know, portion that money out to the developers in that as well. It's not just like on the, you know, it's not just all going to Sony's pocket. You know, all these devs can have like a wee chunk of that money as well. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be interested in doing that as well. Like, here's an E3 demo pass, you know, and that gives you all the demos that were at E3. That would be great. I would totally want that. I would do that. But anyway, guys, let's move on to Microsoft. Microsoft didn't have many games that I was interested in at all. There were 3 standout ones that I'll be talking about, but let's first talk about the elephant in the room, shall we? The Xbox One X, $499, $499. PlayStation 3, way less powerful than the Xbox One X, $600 when it first came out. You're getting a infinitely more powerful console for $100 less. A lot of people have been complaining about that price. I paid full price for my PlayStation 3 when I got it. So, I mean, like, and again, not trying to make any companies any money here with my argument, but if you look at it from the, like, if you look at it from the proper perspective and, like, actually look at it, like, from, you know, from that kind of point of view of, like, PS3 was $100 more than that, and it was way less powerful, then, you know, like, I'm talking objectively here. I'm not talking as Sony fanboy or Nintendo fanboy or anything like that. And again, I'm not even really into Microsoft, you know. So like, me saying this, I'm just being objective, you know. $499 seems like a fair asking price for what they're giving away there. Extremely powerful. Probably, like, you know, at least all of their first party games 4K. You know, 4K straight away. Most likely 4K 60, you know, 4K 60 frames a second, and that's impressive. It's not impressive enough for me to want one, because I feel, and I had a small Twitter conversation with my buddy Chris over this. I feel like these kind of half steps are not necessary, and he said it as well. Like, it was actually him that said that, and I totally agree with him. These half measures are, these kind of half steps up are not that, they're not necessary, you know? Like, just wait 10 years, come out with a PlayStation 5 or a Microsoft Xbox 1360, and, you know, like, just just do the normal console cycle. These half steps are not important because the hardware will come. If we cared about specs, if we cared about the elite stuff, if we cared about Xbox One, and I suppose I shouldn't say we. If I cared about Xbox One, if I cared about PlayStation Pro, I wouldn't be buying it anyway. Like, I would be buying a PC. I would be upgrading to like a better PC hardware. But yeah, half steps are not important. I'd rather play my console, and just wait for the next console cycle to come out, because it's more important for me to do that. You know, it's more important for me to play games rather than consoles. Which is another reason, like that's the reason why I'm interested in getting the Nintendo Switch now, you know, because I want those experiences, and like a Switch 3, you know, a Switch Box 1X is not going to be important to me. Like, I'll wait for the Switch 2 to come out in 10 years' time, you know, or like 8 years or whatever like that. That's enough. So I mean, in terms of what they're offering, it's definite value. Like, $4.99 is a good asking price for that. It's not for me, though. It's not a console that I'm interested in the slightest. My buddy Daz is probably creaming his pants over it, though. He is a major Microsoft fanboy, so yeah, he probably adored everything in that, and like would not say anything against that entire press conference, I think. What did they show in terms of games, though? They showed off Metro. There's a new Metro game coming out. I'm excited for that. I've never really played much of the other two Metro games, but I do plan on getting around to them because I hear they're great. And Metro, like the new Metro, looked fantastic. I can't even remember what the subtitle to it was. But it looks great. It looks really big and open worldy and things like that, and that's got me interested. What else? They showed off the new Ori game, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, I think it's called. My goodness, could not believe it, guys. That game looks cracking. That game looks absolutely phenomenal. And it's a total Microsoft Studios game. You know, it's like, it's absolutely stonking, and I'm jealous. You know, I don't have a Microsoft Xbox One. I don't have an Xbox One X. I don't really have any intention of getting them. I don't have Windows 10, and I never will, because Microsoft are pure evil when it comes to my Windows. And Windows 10 is just like a joke. Like, all they want for you to do is like be advertised to constantly, so they can make more money out of you. But Ori looks amazing. And yeah, I'm jealous. I really want to play that game. I totally, really, truly want to play that game. That was like, I was totally in awe when they showed it off. They also showed off a game that is made by the developer of the game that I'm playing right now, Arc System Works. They showed off Dragon Ball FighterZ, guys, which is it's essentially going to be like Guilty Gear, but Dragon Ball. Guilty Gear crossed up with Capcom versus SNK, essentially. And I mean, like, I've never played it. Maximilian, dude, go over to his channel. He's got some videos of like when he played it at E3. I mean, like, compared to me, he doesn't really need any subscribers. But like, you know, I'd rather you get the information straight from the horse's mouth. It looks really good. It looks like a Marvel vs. Capcom game, but like Dragon Ball Z, but in the style of Guilty Gear. You know, it's got the air dash in. It's got everything that you'd come to expect from like a Guilty Gear game, but Dragon Ball, and the tag team element of Capcom vs. SNK games. You know, 3 versus 3 tag. Looks incredible. Visually looks splendid, like this game that I'm playing right now. Yeah. Check out, go to Maximilian Dude's channel and check out his gameplay footage. Check out his impressions of that game, because it looks incredible. It looks really good, and I definitely will be getting it. That's not a console exclusive, so yeah, I'll be able to play that on the PS4. I really hope they give other anime franchises like a lease of life. in that same style though. As much as I'd prefer that they just focus on Guilty Gear and like Blaze Blue in that, I know Blaze Blue's kind of over for now. I would really like to see like other animes done in like the Guilty Gear style of fighting games, because Guilty Gear's my favourite fighting game series of all time. So yeah, totally like do Fist of the North Star. Fist of the North Star, do that. That would be incredible. They've done a Fist of the North Star game on the PS2 before, but imagine it in this style, you know, just incredible. So I've got like another section written here that is just dedicated to the other stuff, like third-party stuff that was shown off. I know they showed off Anthem at Microsoft, but again, it's a third-party game, multi-platform. So I was kind of just decided to relegate it to the third-party section here. So like let's jump into that. So Anthem. I'm getting my butt destroyed here, guys. Anthem looked really good. I get Sony press conference, they showed off Destiny 2. I'm finished with Destiny, guys. I'm not interested in Destiny. I mean, like I played the first one to death, and didn't care one whit about like grinding. It was like World of Warcraft for me. By the end game, you've lost me. I have no intention of grinding to do anything at all. Like I want to play cool story. I want to play with my friends. If I'm playing an MMO style game, it's about my friends. It's about the gameplay. It's not about grind. And if you've relegated the end game to just being grinding constantly, I'm not interested. Anthem might follow that same trend, but from what they showed off, I was really interested. Oh, I'm getting my butt kicked here. My goodness, what am I doing? Anthem looked really good. I was impressed by the fact that your character is not a class; it's the suit that you wear that defines your class. So obviously you'll be able to buy multiple different kinds of suits, like a big heavy suit, a stealthy suit, you know, and that'll allow you to sort of tailor your gameplay style to what your class essentially. Like tailor your. I'm getting destroyed. No, I need to focus, but I can't focus because I'm talking. I have to. 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds. I've not won a single round against this Potemkin yet. Get lost, Potemkin, you freak. Potemkin's really good as well. Like, oh no. Oh, there you go. Nearly. Ooh. Mega fist. Yes. See? That's what happens when you focus and don't have to talk. Right, okay. So, Anthem looked great. Loved the look of the stuff when they were kind of flying through the forest, going down from their version of the tower. You know, it just looked really cool. It looked really big and open. Rather than like small segmented sort of like even though Destiny's maps are quite big, they're still like small segmented maps, you know. They essentially just like are reduced to like sort of like big loops essentially, and they don't look like open world. Like they don't, like initially they feel like open worlds, but they're not. You know, you very quickly find out that they're just kind of small looped areas. So Anthem piqued my interest. I was very well impressed by Anthem. No! Oh man, that's so annoying. So Anthem, yep, looked great. Wolfenstein, the new Colossus. Rage made the joke that people are going to get like mixed up with the new Shadow of the Colossus and the new Colossus. It's going to be that concept of like a mum going to buy a game and being like, what was the game that they wanted again? The new Colossus, and the guys at GameStop are like, is it Wolfenstein the new Colossus that you're looking for, or is it Shadow of the Colossus you're looking for? And they're like, I don't know. And they're like, well, why not buy both? And they're like, yeah, I should do that, eh? Can I bring back the one that they don't want? No? Okay. Fair enough. I don't want to disappoint my kids, so I'll get them 2 games today. Wolfenstein looked fun. Like the again, trailers are like well constructed lies, guys. They are they're there to show off all the good bits. They're there to show off all the bits that will make you laugh. They're there to show you all the bits that like look interesting or look really fun. Oh my goodness, I'm going to die again. Die! There you go. Yes, that was close. It looked good. But again, can he really like have to kind of reserve judgment till you play a game like that, you know? The wheelchair bit though, when he's trying to escape via the wheelchair and he's sitting gunning down like the Nazis and that, just yeah, it's quite funny. And the bit where the guy at the end drops acid and he's like seeing a wee chameleon thing, a wee cartoon chameleon. It looked quite funny. Yeah, and I liked the first game as well. It was like over the top. I did like Doom way more than Wolfenstein though, so like I don't know how I'm going to sort of reconcile that. As good as Wolfenstein was, Doom was just like an absolutely far and away better game. What else? What else? Far Cry 5. I'm kinda in the camp of being kinda meh with this game. Like, again, I'm gonna reserve judgment. The gameplay looked fine, but I'm getting kinda sick of the same plot. Like, that's, you know, Far Cry, since Far Cry 3, the plot of the Far Cry games has just been like, evil guy running, like, he's got a band of people that's with him, and he's like, that's rallied to his cause. Take down evil, like, overlord guy. And it's just the same here. It's like this nuts guy who's like running this kind of religious cult, and like he's just murdering folk, and it's like he's just causing havoc. So like you're there with your band of like total guns for hire, and like the dog Fangs for hire. That was amazing. And that was kind of it. You know, it's just like here's another Far Cry game, and I was just kind of like, when, like, can you not think of a better, like a new kind of story? Like, I understand that's kind of what works, like a big open world where you're kind of like left to muck about and do what you want, but the end result is kind of like just the same all the time, you know? You just take down the despot guy and that's it. So it was kind of meh with that. Again, gameplay looked fine though. They showed off The Evil Within 2. Now, this is one of those times when I've not played the original game, and the trailer made me want to play the original game so that I'm ready for the next game, you know? No! No! Yes! Yes! That was like down to the wire, that. Oh my goodness. That was so down to the wire. It was like the last few segments of health on the completely last round. Mental. It was purely CG. They showed a little segment of gameplay at the very end. Like it was maybe about a minute's worth of gameplay, like compared to like the 4 or 5 minute trailer that was there. CG with like the wax melting over the guy and stuff. And it was just weird. It looked good though. Like, and The Evil Within is one of those games, I've got it on the PC, but my PC's not really powerful, so like, it sounds like a jet engine trying to take off, for the ground when it tries to run that game. So I've never really played it yet, but I've totally been thinking about maybe just getting the PS4 version and just playing that. Like, even if it ends up having like the, you know, the black borders on top and bottom and that, I'd rather play it on a system that I know that's like physically able to handle it. So The Evil Within 2 looked great, and like the final game that I'm going to talk about today, guys, quick wee mention though that I didn't actually have here, the demo that they showed off for Shadow of War, the new Middle-earth game, Middle-earth Shadow of War, looked great as well. Bruise was definitely one of the highlights of that demo. The giant like troll orc guy thing that is just like total funny Australian dude, essentially. But yeah, outside of that, the final game that I've got to talk about, guys, and the most important game of the show, I think, Beyond Good and Evil 2. A trailer was shown for that, and you know, I don't know how you pronounce his name. I don't know if it's Michel or Michael, but Michel Ancel, I think his name is. Came to the stage, had tears in his eyes. He's about to start crying like full force, and I couldn't believe it, guys. I had tears in my eyes during that trailer as well. I very rarely do I like watch a trailer and I'm like absolutely blown away by it. Tonally, it looked different from the original game, but I mean, if all you're looking for is like the first game again, like there's no progress there, you know. Like I'd rather they make a game that might be tonally different but have that same heart in it. Oh my goodness, Kai is absolutely ripping me a new one. Come on, you jerk. Coconut? Oh, come on. No! So, the trailer was fun, it was funny, a wee bit too much swearing in it, I think, but I think the heart of what makes Beyond Good and Evil is there, you know. It might not have the same vibe, but I think the heart, there's kids running about outside and my windows are open. Oh, I'm so angry right now. It's fine though, it's fine. Yeah, so like the vibe might be different, sorry, the tone might be different, but I feel that I feel that the heart is still there. And that's what's important, because like Beyond Good and Evil is a game with a lot of heart, and I just want to play it. It looks so good. It looks so good. Oh my goodness! It's just Beyond Good and Evil. Made by the same guy that done all the Rayman games. And see, when I seen Rayman Origins for the first time, I was just like, it's getting bought. And I've bought it multiple times on multiple platforms. Same with Rayman Legends. Just absolutely phenomenal game. Michel Ancel is one freaking talented guy, and I love him to bits. And I hope this game comes out, because they can't do this again to us. You know, they showed Beyond Good and Evil off twice before, Beyond Good and Evil 2, and they canned it. And like, this is just the third trailer, and my goodness. Like, and they definitely have taken it in a new direction, and like and all that sort of thing. But I want to play it. I want to play it. It's just that game's not going to come out until like 2020, though, guys. You know it's like ages away yet. And I want it. I want to play it so much. Oh no, no! Get away from me! Die! Yes! 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 Oh my goodness. So guys, E3 2017. Not as absolutely stonking as last year's. Like, last year, Sony alone was worth getting excited about. This year, it's a case of like, you kind of look at the everything as a whole and be excited for all the games that are coming out, you know. Which I am. I'm truly excited for it. I'm truly excited for what Sony's got to offer. I'm actually really excited, and I'm really happy for fans of Microsoft, because again, Sony played it safe. They're obviously going to bring more stuff to the PlayStation Experience and Tokyo Game Show and things like that. But I really do think that oh my goodness, do I have a chance here? They are. I think they're kind of holding back because they've got other things to do. Like, they're probably going to be at Gamescom. They're definitely going to be at Tokyo Game Show. They're definitely going to be doing PlayStation Experience again. So they've got more to show off. They've got more to offer. So I think. My goodness, I wish these kids would like bugger off. Away, go away. Stop playing out right out front of my window. Yeah. I'm happy for Microsoft fans. I'm happy to be a gamer right now. You know, like I'm happy to be playing games. I'm happy to see that Nintendo has got stuff to play, stuff to show people. I'm happy that Microsoft was able to show off and excite their fans again, you know, because like for the past 2 or 3 years, like Microsoft has been lagging behind in terms of sales and things like that. They've not really had that much content to offer their fans, and now they've got a reason, like Microsoft fans have got a reason to be excited again, and I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about that, you know. Competition breeds competition breeds like developers being like, you know, more creative. You know, it's not just about how many sales you get; it's how much quality can you push out of these games, you know. And now that they're back in the run and they're exciting people, they showed off 42 games at their press conference, and that was great. That was great, guys. Sony held back. They've definitely got more to show though. Like I feel like they, after their conference, they probably understood that they can't hold back. You know, like if they want to keep in front, they have to give it all. You know, they have to show what they've got. You know, show me what you got. And I think Microsoft and Nintendo kind of took the ball and ran. You know, they had far and away a better showing than Sony, but that's not to say that Sony didn't have a good show. It just wasn't anywhere near as good as last year. They had an awful lot to live up to, and it's important to note that you know, right now everybody's a winner. You know, the gamers are winning. You know, like gamers especially are winning right now because everybody is being more active with their stuff. They're being more involved with like Microsoft are getting more exclusives. They're getting more games on their platform. They're getting, like, they've got the most powerful console on the market now. Well, sorry, it's not out yet, but you know what I mean. Nintendo fans have got stuff to be interested in, and like they've certainly sold me on the Nintendo Switch. I want one now. I really wish they'd showed like a Donkey Kong game though. Like, I love Donkey Kong even more than Mario. I love Donkey Kong. Sony had God of War. They had the Shadow of the Colossus. They had Days Gone. Like, man, this year was great. Well, again, not as great as last year, but it was a fantastic year for everybody, not just Sony. You know, it was a fantastic year for fans of games in general. So, guys, this has been a pretty long video, and just kind of wrap it up, guys. I'm Prime, and this is Stupidly Epic. Thank you for joining me. If you were interested in hearing what I had to say about E3, if you enjoyed what I had to say, and if you enjoyed me kicking Guilty Gear Xr's ass as Potemkin, one of the slowest character in the game, give me a video a like. You know, subscribe to the channel, guys. It's you know, I don't monetize my content. I'm not even on Patreon or anything like that. So like, I just do this because I love doing it. I mean, maybe one day, you know, hopefully this will become something big enough that I can make a living off it. That would be fantastic. But as it stands right now, this is just my hobby. And I love doing my hobby. You know, I love what I do. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for I know this has been a long video, guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I appreciate it so much, and I'm just going to skip through this right now because this is like end of the video stuff. I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thank you so very much, guys. That was E3 2017. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks again, guys. Bye for now. Bye! Prime, Ken, what they didn't show off this year? No, what were they missing, like? Bionic Commando 2! You're right. It was a terrible E3. There's no hope.